Hello from Adventure Isle and welcome to the Tam O Shanter. And we are here at this iconic Los Angeles restaurant to do the Table 31 Walt Disney dining experience. This restaurant, the Tam O Shanter, has been open for over 100 years and was one of Walt Disney's favorite places to eat. Way back before Disney Studios had a commissary, he would come here almost every day with his Imagineers to grab lunch. And right now at Tam O Shanter, there is actually a Disney dining package that you can book called the Table 31 Experience. This is a prix-fixe menu where you actually get to dine at the table that Walt Disney himself dined at with his Imagineers. So we have a reservation for today at 11 a.m. and we are going to go inside, take a tour, and have lunch where Walt Disney did. So here, when you first walk in, you can see some pictures of the old Tam O Shanter building, this restaurant from 100 years ago. The outside of this restaurant is also what inspired the cottage in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. We're going to take a quick look around the lobby here where you can see lots of references to Disney and Mickey Mouse. So it is lunchtime right now. Our reservation's at 11. And the restaurant is just about opening, and then we'll go get seated at our table. But I do want to show you congrats on 75 wonderfully prime years. It has now been over 100 years. So this caricature painting was actually from 28 years ago when that was given to Tam O Shanter by Disney Studios. And here you can see some history of the Tam O Shanter. From 1922 when it opened, the population of Los Angeles was 580,000 before freeways, plastic, television, computers, and nearly everything we take for granted today. On a dusty corner of a country road, brothers-in-law Lawrence Frank and Walter Vandekamp built a whimsically designed restaurant selling frankfurters, chicken and waffle dinners, and pumpkin pie cut man-sized. So here you can take a look at all the history from 1922 all the way down to this sign ends in 2012. Right now it's 2025 and this restaurant has been open for 103 years. There's lots of cool historical stuff here. Here in 1960, there is actually a painting of Walt Disney, founder Lawrence Frank, and designer of the restaurant, Harry Oliver. Walt loved the Tam and always sat at table number 31, which is the table we're going to sit at. He and his employees thought of the restaurant as the nearby studio's commissary. That's how often he ate here. Here's some cute pictures of the old uniforms throughout the years, from the 20s through 2015. Another picture of the outside of the building that inspired the cottage from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. An inside look at the restaurant. And a picture of the building from 1923. And now it's time to check in, and then we're going to head over to table 31. And here's a look at the restaurant, and there is also a bar that you can walk into and sit down. So this is the inside of Tam O Shanter, and if you walk down the hallway after you check in, you're going to walk straight back towards this fireplace and underneath these flags. And over here in the corner is where you're going to find Walt Disney's favorite table, Table 31. So we are seated here now at the Tam O Shanter, and we just got a quick history lesson. This is actually a restaurant that is 103 years old. It did used to be called the Great Scott, and it is one of the oldest restaurants in Los Angeles that is actually still owned by the same family after over 100 years. Walt Disney used to come here with his Imagineers, and he used to actually sit at a table over on the other side of the restaurant. But he realized he couldn't see people coming in and out. They couldn't see him, so he wanted to be in a more open table. So he sat in this exact spot that I'm sitting in right now because he liked that he could see people coming down that hallway that we first walked in, and that they could see him when they walked in. He would sit here at this table with his Imagineers, and they would draw things and come up with this idea. And I'm going to show you some of this table that our lovely waitress Jill just talked about. And what she told us was that when they sat down at this table, they would draw on napkins. Well, the restaurant asked to keep some of those napkins, and they engraved some of those drawings into this exact table that we're sitting at. So you're going to see some drawings by Walt Disney and his Imagineers that have been engraved into this table, table 31 at Tam O Shanter. So here at the table, when you sit down, there is a plaque that says this was a favorite spot of Walt Disney and his Imagineers. And then on the table, it's kind of hard to see because it's very faint, but there are actually drawings that are here on the table. These were actually drawn by Imagineers on napkins, and then the Tam O Shanter took those napkins and engraved those drawings into the table. It's a very faint drawing of a dinosaur. I'm going to show you a different drawing of a dinosaur as well. And this was some of the inspiration for the Grand Circle Tour at the Disneyland Railroad. And over here you can see a little bit clearer that there is another dinosaur that is engraved here in the table as well, and that was taken again off of a napkin that the Imagineers drew on. There's also some trees that kind of go with this dinosaur, kind of faintly see outlined here. So lots of actual pieces of like Disney history and Disney life here on this table. So over here on this side of the table, there's actually some kind of blueprint drawings and some names and words of people to contact that are also written, engraved here into the table. I apologize that it's so hard to see. It's actually kind of hard to see in person too, but it's really cool to know that it's here on this table as a permanent fixture. I'm also kind of surprised that the table doesn't have glass or something over it, but I love that we can see it so closely. So now that we've taken a look at some of these drawings, which are incredible and live preserved here on table 31, we're going to take a look at this menu. So this is a prefix menu. For lunch, it is $69 per person, and it comes with a bunch of different choices and options that are listed here on this menu that we will take a closer look at. So here at table 31, Walt Disney's favorite table, this is the menu. To start, everybody does get deviled eggs with pickled vegetables and bacon-wrapped dates. They also recommend trying the Scotch Mist, which is Walt's welcome cocktail. It's strong because, like they said, Walt did not dilly or dally. It's basically just Scotch and lemon. For your first course, you need to choose one, either the wedge salad or the Tam's famous chili, which has been the same recipe since 1927. For the second course, they have the 31 burger, which was Walt's to-go order. That's basically a delicious burger with chili on it, and it comes with fries. Or you can pick pan-roasted Scottish salmon, or there is a world-famous prime rib with a California cut. And then for, there's also a vegetarian dish of a moment. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but we will be ordering off of the main menu. And then for dessert, there are two options, a hot fudge sundae and an English trifle. So we're gonna order some of these foods to try, and we'll show you what they look like when they come out. So starting here for our lunch menu, to start, you actually get all of the starters, which includes deviled eggs here, also pickled vegetables that are all homemade, and bacon-wrapped dates with cream cheese inside. So this is our starting course. So the drink has arrived. This is Walt's welcome cocktail called the Scotch Mist. They told us that even though it says there's several things in this drink, it's basically just Scotch with a twist of lemon. He liked it nice and simple. And strong, really strong. This is basically a glass of Scotch on ice. I mean, the lemon, I think this lemon in it is probably basically the lemon that this drink is talking about, but this is straight up very strong. So keep that in mind, especially if you have to drive. I'm going to give this starter a try. I'm gonna start with the deviled egg, which looks really good. I like how all the food in here does look old-fashioned because it's an old-fashioned restaurant and you want the same kind of experience that Walt had when he came here. That's really good. It has a lot of dill in it, which I prefer in a deviled egg, so I think this is delicious. I'm also gonna try one of these dates. I love dates. We're gonna see how my friend Lacey feels about this because she's never actually had a date. I like dates. I think they're really sweet, and I think they're delicious when they're bacon wrapped. So here's kind of a close-up of what that looks like. They're really good. You mostly taste bacon and like a little bit of sweetness. Okay. The last thing that they brought us here for our starter are some pickled vegetables, so I'll try some pickled cauliflower. I'm normally not a huge fan of pickled vegetables, but I'll give one a try. It's fine. It's so sour. But the other two starters were really good. I like the eggs and the bacon wrapped dates a lot. While we're waiting for our food, our waitress Jill just came by and gave us each a little present. They actually give you a pin gonna get nice and close with the pin. And this is a pin of the original Tam O Shanter building. So that's really cool and a nice little extra that you get with this package. Our first course has arrived and we grabbed both options to try. So this is the Tam's famous chili, which is the same recipe that they've been making since 1927. So this is the same recipe of chili that Walt Disney would have eaten. And then we're also trying the wedge salad, which is a pretty big portion for a wedge salad, especially considering we already have that starter and we still have 2 more courses coming after these. This chili looks so good. I can see why they didn't bother to change the recipe because I did already have a bite of it and it is delicious and it is definitely something I would recommend trying. But I also tried the wedge salad. It was really good too. So you really can't go wrong with either of these starters. Like my friend Lacey, who's here with me, so she ended up picking the burger because that came with chili on it. So she gets to try the chili with her entree. And so if you're gonna do that, I recommend the wedge salad. But if you're not gonna get the burger that has chili on it, then I recommend starting with the chili because it is really good. So our entrees are here. So this is the chili burger. So there is chili, cheese, bacon, all sorts of really cool stuff on this open face burger, which does have sourdough down underneath. And then that also comes with fries topped with chili. And then over here, I got the prime rib, which comes with mashed potatoes and gravy. And it also comes with your choice of cream corn or cream spinach. I picked cream corn. And then you get 2 types of horseradish. This is a mild horseradish and this is a spicy horseradish. So far, I will say service has been incredible and the food portion size is huge. Like, I'm definitely not going to be able to eat all of this prime rib and there's still dessert coming and we've already had 2 appetizers. So you definitely are getting a lot of value for the money that you're paying. We're here for lunch, so it was $69 a person for this, what ends up being 4 courses. You're definitely getting like a big sizable portion for that. So one of the things that came here with my meal is also this. This is a Yorkshire pudding. So this is basically a popover puff pastry and it's hollow on the inside. And when you open it, you can pull it apart and you can use this to help sop up the juices from the prime rib that I ordered for lunch. So we're gonna open this up and give our lunch a try. So I'm gonna give this prime rib a try. I still can't believe how much food is on this plate. That is really good. I'm gonna try the corn also. That cream corn is really sweet, which I like, but if you're not a fan of like really sweet cream corn, you might want to try the spinach instead. It's very sweet. And the last thing I have besides that popover, which I'm gonna try last, is this mashed potatoes and gravy. This is such like a comfort food meal. I can totally see why Walt Disney ate here and liked this meal because it's filling, it's delicious, it's very traditional, and I'm really glad that I'm here trying it. The popover doesn't really taste like much. I see why she said it's kind of like an eggy pastry. I think it's cool that they serve it with that. But of all the things I'm eating, that's probably the thing that I'm kind of like, over. It makes the plate look pretty. I think it tastes okay, but I really think the highlight of this is everything else on the plate. I am also gonna try a bite of my friend Lacey's open face burger and chili fries that she got. So like I was saying earlier, if you're gonna get that as an entree, then maybe pick the wedge salad as your first course because it does come with a lot of chili on this. And I'm gonna have a bite of it, but she says it's delicious, so it is definitely a good option to pick. It tastes really good. I just think that the prime rib, in my opinion, was the better choice of the 2 options, and then get the chili for the first course, but it's really whatever your food preference is. All of it has been really good so far. It's delicious. You really can't go wrong with either one for your main course.
All right, ready?
Yes. Oh, cute. They're making my ice cream sundae. Perfect.
Enjoy.
Thank you. So our final course has arrived, our dessert course. You just saw that our awesome server Jill actually poured the chocolate sauce over our ice cream sundae here at the table. And then we also got an English trifle, which has strawberries, cake, whipped cream, and they both look really delicious. So for our gift, we were just brought this. So when we first sat down at this table, we saw that there's an oil painting above this table that is Mickey Mouse, and in it he's looking at a picture frame that has 3 people in it. The 3 people that are in that picture are actually Walt Disney, and then the owner and the architect of Tam O Shanter. Now this place is really important because Walt Disney did spend a lot of time here, but he was also friendly with a lot of people that own the restaurant, and because he came here so often and everybody knew where he was, he had a lot of time spent here in this restaurant. He actually used to sit outside and toss ideas back and forth and sketch with the people who worked and owned this restaurant. So this is a great place to come if you love Disney history. And this painting that they gave us was actually presented to Tam O Shanter by the Imagineers to celebrate the 100th year of this restaurant. So it's very cool that they give this to you as a gift. You only get this gift if you are doing this Table 31 dining experience that we did here to share with you guys today. So coming here was very cool. If you're ever in the LA area and you get the chance to come and dine here, I highly recommend it. Even if you don't do this experience or this package or sit at this exact table, just being in this restaurant that Walt Disney spent so much time at is really cool. And another fun fact about this restaurant is that the outside of this building, which was on that pin that I showed you in the beginning, that was what actually inspired Snow White's cottage and Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. So you might have a tie to this restaurant from your childhood, that building from Snow White, that you didn't even know you had. So really cool Disney fun history. I hope you guys had a fun time coming and having lunch with us. If you're not already, make sure to like and subscribe here at our page Adventure Isle, and we will see you guys next time. Before we head out, I just want to show you one quick thing here in the lobby. So that gift that we were given for doing the Table 31 dining experience was this painting, or this print of the painting that hangs over Table 31. And here you can see that there is a picture of Walt Disney with the owner and designer of Tam O Shanter. And that exact picture actually hangs here in the lobby. And this picture was taken in 1960, but for the 100th anniversary of Tam O Shanter, they took this photo that you can see in the lobby, and they added it into this oil painting with Mickey Mouse, and this is what now hangs over Table 31, also known as Walt Disney's table.